Sports brings you a special edition of the National Football League for this Halloween matchup. It's the 49ers and the Bears, and it's coming up next.
Bit of a sloppy track here at Soldier Field. Still getting some of the wraparound rain bands from the pressure system that's hovered over Chicago the last couple of days. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Gaudin joined as always by Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Bears in this one. They're the best team in the NFL as far as running the football goes, but they're in for a stern test here.
Yeah, that defense that they're going up against, they're no slouch either. One of the top 5 units in the league. I think this game could boil down to stopping the big play. This offense can certainly hit some home runs, and if they hit on a couple here, it might be all they need to win the game.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The 49er offense coming out here for the first time, led by their quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo, 5th season with the 49ers, 8th overall in the National Football League.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the 1 being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. The numbers for him from a week ago, 20 carries, 85 yards.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open downfield.
Second down, here's Mostert again. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And now Garoppolo lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good... Thumb is when a play like that occurs, you know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
On 2nd and 15 now. Garoppolo. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Khalil Mack. What a season and he continues to have his 15th sack of the campaign.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. To throw is Garoppolo. And now Garoppolo lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play. Fortunately for him, that ball stayed close and he could recover it on his own.
And you know the prayers that were going through his head as the ball escaped from him? How happy was he at the end of it when he found the football again, able to retain possession?
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Pushing his way through. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Bears take over. And the Bears offense making their way out now for their first drive with Justin Fields, the rookie from Ohio State, at quarterback.
And just a few years after the Bears made a big move at quarterback, taking Mitchell Trubisky, they did it again this year, moving from number 20 to number 11 in the draft to select Justin Fields out of Ohio State. This offense was just 26 in total yardage last year, so they needed some production. Justin Fields, 63 touchdown passes his last 2 years at Ohio State. They're expecting him to be their guy for the future.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. The numbers on the ground for Montgomery in last week's affair. The hat trick +1, 4 trips to the end zone with his legs.
And, partner, you know how all the guys do when they do that little symbol now about eating, right? Keep feeding me, feeding me. They just kept feeding him, and next thing you know, he kept getting in the end zone.
And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all. Short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Being chased out left. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10. Now, you and I, partner, we got the plum assignment this week. An unbeaten team against a 1-loss team. Really not much separating these two entering play here today.
Not much at all, and I think for both coaches, they've looked at their team and said, guys, you got to know what you're getting into in this one, and you better be ready to go because you get to answer the big question of the day. Are we as good as we think we are? We're about to find out.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Montgomery. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. No score after one on EA Sports. Now a second down and 6. A give. This is Montgomery. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery, touchdown number 18 on the year, as his guys are first on the scoreboard here this afternoon. People always talk about one of his biggest strengths running the football, vision, and he found the spot there, went into the end zone.
You're exactly right about that. It wasn't just the vision, right? Once he saw the gap, decisiveness, made up his mind, and about the power to finish the play. Not only did he get good blocking, he created his own space as well.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jimmy Garoppolo and his offense heading back on the field. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground. But that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is really thrown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Garoppolo looks to throw. That is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap. He locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. To throw is Fields. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. From the gun, here's Fields. Flush to his right. And he is finally out of bounds, but not before taking it down inside the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, that was something to behold there. You might expect runs like that from a kick returner or wide receiver, but that's your quarterback hitting top speed.
And normally when you see guys move it this fast, it might be a fly pattern from a receiver or a toss sweep from a tailback or something like that. This was designed as a passing play, and then he got out of the pocket, and he just took off, and he just kept gaining momentum with every step.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now a give running right is Montgomery. A great move by Montgomery. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now Montgomery running right.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack. Santos' kick is up and through, and the lead moves to 10-zip.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And San Francisco gets set to go here.
And, Charles, you look at these two teams, these are those kind of litmus test games in the second half of the season that if you're a coach or player, you can either really look forward to them or really dread them, depending on your point of view.
And if you're dreading them, you're not going to go very far in the playoffs. You need to look forward to these kind of games because here we've got two division leaders.
Mostert hit and he drops the ball.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It appears he'll be a few inches short, so 9 yards on the gain officially, and it'll be 3rd down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 23 yards, the final tally.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free, and there's another example, another incompletion.
Garoppolo going to get this off to Mostert.
And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 32, the 40, the 20, 10. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now the point after try for Santos. He's got it, and it's 17-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one, that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
They get Pro Bowl tackle Trent Williams for the infraction there.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Garoppolo. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession.
He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Chicago. Javon Wims, his 2nd touchdown on the season.
And the Bears continue to pull away here in this first half.
I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass his young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen. And it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. The 2nd quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can...
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with. A fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Cole Kmet, the intended receiver.
And it's 2nd down.
Out of the gun, Fields.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. As it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number one. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Stops short. Down at the 1. Had the broken tackle but couldn't get it all the way home. Second and goal from the 1. Back to throw. Fields. Open man. He finds Kmet. Touchdown, Chicago. Cole Kmet as the first half is winding down. And the Bears would extend their lead here just before halftime. Little loft on that touchdown pass and sort of dropped it in the breadbasket perfectly.
Right in the bucket, and when you're coming out of college and you're a rookie in the NFL, sometimes you forget about the different types of throws you have to make. You just rely on your fastball and throw it as hard as you can all the time. But in this situation, he understood and threw it in a spot where only his receiver was going to get it and no one else. That was pretty.
Santos with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway as they'll take over with just 13 seconds to go before the break. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. So we are at halftime here on Halloween as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, make sure you avoid the crazies out there and welcome in everybody to this Halloween edition of our EA Sports Halftime Report. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, and those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon, a couple of touchdown runs. Finally, let's get to the desert. Let's check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Green Bay Packers. Kyler Murray, excellent in the victory, as it's one that pushes his guys 2 games above 500. We continue on with a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Niners. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for the Bears, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone, and we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. So here are the Bears to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
A shotgun snap, Fields.
Oh, he stays up. Eluding the pressure right. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
Well, you don't expect too many quarterbacks to be adept at breaking away from would-be tacklers, but this is uncommonly good right here as he's able to get away.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding just a little bit trite, this is just a tackle that needs to be made. It's one thing when you've got a bruising 230-pound running back coming your way, but when it's a quarterback who's running for his life, your teammates will tell you, you've got to get him on the ground.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
A play fake, now Fields to throw.
Rolling to his right. Fights him off, and he'll go down at the 28.
Fields, we know he has the good mobility. He flashes it there as he scrambles for the first down. So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23.
Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle.
The first down run got 5. Here's second and 5. Out of the gun, running with Cohen. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown.
David Montgomery
with his 19th touchdown, his second of the game.
And the Bears take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Santos now to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays.
And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
Fielded right around the 8. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
And he's going to have a Niners first down as he's able to get this up to the 37-yard line.
It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted.
Eddie Jackson picks it, and he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line.
Well, things just kind of continuing to unravel for him here in the second half. They take the shot downfield, but this defense, once again, up to the task.
Well, this is where you think about the old phrase, desperate times call for desperate measures, because they've got nothing on the scoreboard, and they're just trying to get something, anything to go their way. But in this case, they turn the ball over.
David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession.
He is hoping to find the end zone for a third time, and we sit now in the third quarter.
And nothing would excite him more But I think even more so is offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20.
122 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
Well, this is the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Runs like that might get him another award.
Yeah, thunderbolt right out of the gate, huh? How about that, hitting the defense hard early? And, of course, carrying the momentum from last week into this week's game.
Now a run with Montgomery. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal. It'll be first and goal when we come back. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. A nice display of power, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5.
Third and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Now it's Fields.
Escaping the pressure right. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
Justin Fields.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Bears add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
He continues to show at this level that he can not only pass for touchdowns, he can run for touchdowns.
Not the first time we've seen this, because this young guy, he really makes it happen. So what that tells me is the book on him has to change. You got to now plan for those legs as well as him throwing the football.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. 5 plays there on that drive.
And it was all capped off by the Justin Fields touchdown run. He took it in himself.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
San Francisco's offense returns to the field.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
Well, they intercept Garoppolo for the 3rd time.
It's Desmond Trufant, and he's able to get it back to right around the 27. Yet another mistake after the interception there, and gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't, and also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys, but being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy!
Second and 6.
They'll keep it on the ground. Montgomery.
Whoa!
It still won't go down. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, They've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Tariq Cohen, his second touchdown on the season. And the Bears are poised to move to 8-0 as they extend their lead even further. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Santos with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action.
The ball comes out. And this is picked up by the Bears. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty as a result of that hit there.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Over the middle, he completes it to Hurd. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. From just shy of midfield, Garoppolo. And now he'll fire deep downfield for James. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Richie James, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Niners are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter.
You're not going to hear Jimmy Garoppolo mentioned among the strongest arms in the league, but that doesn't mean he can't beat you with a long one.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh no! And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
Oh, a good return up past the 30.
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
And it's all but certain that this win streak is going to extend another week. Just another tremendous performance in this one.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll go to Montgomery to try to wind some clock. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2.
They'll keep it on the ground. Montgomery. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with a football here as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Montgomery, and he'll be taken down at the 34. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. Throwing on third down, Fields. Flush to his right. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. Montgomery, they'll run for it. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
On 2nd down now, it's Montgomery. Hard running at the 15 and able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Bears, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they drop just their 2nd game so far as they fall to 5-2. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals.